Hello everybody, my name is New. Today we are trying pixel crocheting, or specifically I'm going to be making squares with Marvel character faces, Iron Man and Spider-Man for today, but in the future I've got some plans for some other characters. First thing I did was I found some yarn in my apartment, and this is the same thickness and weight and brand as the one that I'm going to use on my final project. And what I'm going to do is quickly crochet up a test square. So as you can see, that's what I'm doing right now with a little bit of struggle. So let's do that real fast. Okay, so this is my test square, so it's about what I want the dimensions of my final square to be. And this is 20 stitches by 18 rows, which ends up being roughly 18.5 centimeters by 19 centimeters. And this might shift when you start mucking about with like changing colors, but mine is roughly square. And so I used half double crochets, and honestly, single crochets will make your work more similar to your pattern, which we're about to make, because they use like squares or pixels. But I prefer the like thickness of the half double crochet, so that's what I used. So now that we've got our swatch, we're going to go to a website called Stitch Fiddle, where we can make a pattern for our crochet square. And we're just going to go straight into create new chart, and then down to crochet, and then down to crochet with colors, which is covers pixel crochet, which is what we're doing today. You can make a pattern from a picture, but unless your picture is really simple, that gets really crazy really quickly. So we're going to go to empty chart, and then input how many columns and rows we had on our test swatch. So for us, test swatch for us, that was 18 rows and 20 columns, and then we can just press create chart, and it'll create a grid for us, which we can then use to design our pixel crochet. You can create custom colors on the side if you have like a specific design in mind, but I don't usually bother with that because you can just use whatever yarn you want to use in real life. So this is what my Iron Man pattern looks like. It's just a matter of kind of clicking around until you find something that you like. And in my case, my Iron Man looks like a little bit oval at the moment, but you don't need to worry about that because your stitches are like longer or taller than they are wide. So his face will get like stretched upwards a little bit as we crochet. I do a little bendy. You guys can see. So this is my Iron Man design. And originally I was gonna go with his like arc reactor. I thought that looked really cool, and I personally like that as Iron Man's logo more than I kind of enjoy this like cartoony Iron Man face. But I don't know, I did it like this just to see what it would look like, and he kind of looks kind of derpy. And just to explain the color scheme, usually obviously if you were doing Iron Man, you would want to do it in like yellow and red with maybe black, because those are his colors. But my concept is pastel Marvel. So I've chose to do all of the colors pastel. What you can do with your Stitch Fiddle design, and you can of course do this on a piece of paper, you can just get a bit of grid paper and color in your design that way. But the thing that I like about Stitch Fiddle is you can press this thing and it will show you where you are in the row, which is so unbelievably helpful. Okay, so we're starting off with 20 stitches across this way in yellow. So we've got to do a slip knot and then 21 chains. And then 21 because we want a turning chain, and then we're going to come back. And this is actually where we start here. So this is stitch 1-1. And then we're just gonna go and stitch 20 across. Okay, so at the end of the row, I just do like a slip stitch or a chain to turn, and you can see it's like really curly. And so this side we've got 8 yellow, 4 grey, and then 8 yellow again. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the first 7 half double crochets just normally. Okay, so that's 7 single crochets. We need 1 more, but the thing that's special about this is when you're doing the last stitch before you change colors, you need to incorporate the next color into that last stitch. So what I mean is, regardless of whether you're using a single or a half double or a double, you need to do the last yarn over in your next color. So what that means for me is I'm going to yarn over, pull through, yarn over. Now usually I would take my yellow one and pull through here, but because I'm changing color, I can't do that. I am changing over to grey, so I'm just gonna find the end of my grey yarn, which is here, and then I'm going to, I just kind of flop it over the end like this. Some people would do a slip stitch, but you're going to pull through that last part with your new color. Now, what you have coming out of here is your new working yarn, your tail, and then the other color. Now, we're not done with yellow on this row, so I can't just drop the yellow out the back. I need to keep going with it. And this tail of yarn, I want to crochet over the top of it so that I don't have to put so much effort into sewing my tails in later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up my working yarn, because I'm doing a half double crochet. I'm going to yarn over, I'm going to make sure I got all of that in my hand, and see all of those 2 extra bits of yarn are getting trapped underneath the new stitch, like that. You can see they're like inside there. So I'm going to go ahead and do another 2 of these stitches as normal, because the bottom of Iron Man's chin is 4 grey stitches. So now I've got 3 stitches, and now I've got to change colour. So at this point, I'm going to yarn over, go through, yarn over, come out the back. I'm going to drop my grey tail, because, you know, it's like pretty in there at this point. I'm also going to drop this grey one because I don't need it for the rest of the row. So I'm just going to yarn over in the yellow, and then I get to just go to the end of the row as normal. So it should be another 8 stitches. This is actually the second time I'm filming this, because the first time I tried, I only did 19 stitches. So I completely underestimated how much attention I need to pay to what I'm doing and not just describing what I'm doing. So, you know, for the sake of not having to frog your work at the end, you know, undo it all, frog it. I think counting stitches as you go is a really good habit to get into with crocheting. So I've got my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yellow stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4 grey stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yellow stitches. And then I've done my chain at the end. So we're going to go up to the next row and turn around. Now you can see all of the yarn is hanging out the back. It's probably better just for your peace of mind when it comes to crocheting the ends in or sewing the ends in later, to keep them all coming out the back or the one side. So on this one you can see we've got 6 yellow stitches this time. So I'm just going to go ahead and do those. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now this is number 6, so we need to change color here. Now we've already got a grey bit of yarn going, so we're gonna just pick that up. Now I'm gonna give it a bit of slack when I do this, and I'm gonna tear that through. We're not done with the yellow on this row, so we've got to crochet over the top of our yellow. And see, there's this like slack here from where it's attached down here. What I'm going to do is try and catch that in my next stitch, just because it like neatens it up. It means that the grey is only kind of hanging around here rather than like all the way over here. I could probably try and do it again. Get underneath that one, go over, come through. See, it's like really tucked in there now, but you need to make sure you give it a bit of slack, otherwise you're gonna start creating a lot of tension on your crochet piece and potentially making it go wonky. So at this point, we've only got to do 2 grey stitches. Now we've got to do 4 pink. So we need to incorporate a new color, and this is where it gets kind of hectic. So I'm going to get my pink. I'm going to bring it in and just pull through like I have done before. So all of my yarn is just kind of like hanging out now. I'll give it a bit of a tug to neaten it up. So these are all of the bits of yarn I've got working into it now. So this is my working yarn. This is the tail, and then these are the 2 colors that I still need to use for the rest of the row. So I'm going to be a bit cheeky, and I'm going to crochet over the top of all of these. Because like I said, I hate sewing in ends. So I try and crochet over the top of them wherever I can. So this one we need 4 pink stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, and now this is where we're going to change color. I'm going to give this a bit of a tug just to make sure it's like all neat and where it needs to be. And this is the pink. I'm going to get rid of the tail because I'm pretty happy with that being secure now. And we need to swap over to the grey. So we're going to pull the grey through. And it's already hanging out there ready to go because you've been crocheting over the top of it. And this pink one can just hang out the back. Oh no, wait, no, it's going to hang out. The back is this side. Don't do that. Try and like learn from my mistakes, because I've had to like go back and frog stuff because I realized that it's hanging out on opposite sides and it's just a pain in the butt. So now what I've got is my working yarn, which is this grey one, and this yellow one, which I'm going to continue to crochet over the top. So I've got 2 more grey stitches. Let's get rid of this pink so it's out of the way. Let's see what I'm doing. 1 and 2. And now I need the yellow, so I'm just going to yarn over with the yellow for the end of that stitch. Tuck my grey out the back of my work, and I should have 6 stitches of yellow to finish this one off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the tricky one that wants to hide from me. 6. Come on. 6. And then a chain so that we can turn. Now, you can see here I've got a bit of a situation with my yarn. It's starting to get a bit tangled. So that's the kind of downside to, you know, mucking around with the yarn this way. It means you've got to kind of stop every couple of rows and just untangle your yarn. So we're going to go in and do our first 3 stitches as normal. Nothing crazy. Some yarn going hoot. Please move. Thank you. 3, and then this is our 4th one, right? So this yellow we're gonna need all the way across the piece. So we're gonna be carrying the yellow back and forth. So what we're gonna do here is pick up our grey. The grey is coming out of the back, so you just pick it up, tuck it over the top. You can do what I was doing before. That's not correct. Wait, no, 1, 2, 3. Wait, don't get confused. Okay, 4, and then yarn over and pull through. You can do that thing that I was talking about earlier, where you make sure you give it a bit of slack, and then you can yarn over the top of it, and it's hidden away. So this is our working yarn, and we're going over the top. I'm here, please. Going over the top of this yellow now. Okay, so we've got 2 grey that we need to do. We're gonna go 1. Give it a bit of tug so that we nice and tight, and then 2. Now at this point we need to change color again, so both of these yellow and greys are going to be going underneath. We're going to be stitching over the top of them or crocheting over the top of them. I'm going to go to the back, pick up the pink, And again, give it a bit of a slack so that you can crochet over the top of it if you want to, or you are just not distorting your work, basically. Now for the pink, we've only got one on this row, so it's a bit of a pain in the butt. We just gotta change over to yellow. Now we need pink on this side now too. So now our yellow is our working thread, and we're also going to be working on top of the grey and the pink. So how many yellow do we need? 6. So 1,
2, 3, 4, 5.
Before we do the last one, I'm going to give it a bit of a tug just to like situate the stitches. And then we're going to go our 6th stitch, which we are changing over to pink, right? So tuck your pink over the top, pull that one through, do 1 stitch of pink, and then you're going to chuck your grey over the top. At this point, I'm going to drop my pink out the back. I don't need it anymore for this row. I'm going to do my 2 grey. So 1, and this is the 2nd one. So we're going to yarn over with the yellow at the end. And then we've got 4 stitches of yellow to finish off the row. And I've dropped my grey out the back because I don't need it anymore for this row. So we're going to go up to the next one, and it's just more of the same now, because we've also got to consider like the mouth and the eyes on Iron Man. There's going to be a lot more like switching around back and forth and stuff, but it's the same technique, just continued. So as you can see, I have this like mess of yarn, which is probably easier to untangle at this point than later. So I'm just going to spend a second untangling all this just for my own sanity later down the road, and then we'll crack on.
Unfortunately, Mr. Turner. He's right!
Okay, so this is my finished fireman. Okay, so this is my finished Iron Man square, and I'll be the first to admit that he looks a little bit strange. You know, he's no Robert Downey Jr., but this is a part of a larger project that I'm going to be posting to the channel later on, and so I don't mind that he looks a little bit off. If you watch the footage that I'm showing you closely coming up, there's going to be a preview for the next square that I'm going to be doing, which is Spider-Man. I was going to do it in this video, and then I ran completely out of time because at this point we're about to hit 20 minutes, and I feel like that's probably just enough crochet for one day. I actually like how it turned out, and this method can be used for a lot of different things. So I've done like hearts using this. I'm working on another project for the channel, which is like crocheting a manga page or crocheting a manga character, and that's actually turning out pretty cool so far. So if you're interested in that, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, like I said, I didn't want to stretch this video out any longer, so that's why unfortunately Spider-Man is probably going to be saved for another video. And I hope that this was a lot clearer than my last crochet video. I hope if you guys have any questions about what's going on, please feel free to ask me in the comments, and I will definitely get back to you as soon as possible. And also, this is such a super easy crochet project in the sense that you only need to know how to do a chain stitch and one other stitch of your choice, like a single crochet, whatever. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you all have an incredible week. Goodbye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. How did we do that? Oh man, we're doing a tutorial. We don't even know what we're talking about.